Lag BaOmer is spelled Lamed Gimel. The BaOmer, 33rd day of the Omer. Everybody knows Lamed Gimel. If you were here Sunday, you sure do. Now, the 33rd day of the Omer is the day when all the tragedy stopped, and today when we rejoice and have festivities. The deaths of the Talmidim and the students of Rabbi Akiva were stopped, and it's a day in which Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the great Kabbalist, disclosed to the world the book of the Zohar, the book of splendor, of which you should not look at until you're at least 40. If someone tells you a thought about the Zohar, that's fine. If you don't understand it, don't blame yourself. You shouldn't. The fact of the matter is, I still don't, and I'm way over 40. The Zohar is a very deep and splendorous work to explain the intricacies and the mysteries of the universe. And you really need to be a great scholar and a very holy and pious person to be able to perceive it. Some of it is understandable to some minimal level, and you can hear a thought here or a thought there. But its wondrous secrets are in a book called the Zohar, which in fact discloses some of the amazing mysteries of our world, with the full understanding that there are such amazing mysteries. And certainly persons should know that whatever they do understand about the world is but a fraction, but a drop of what really is going on. For as much as the human body is an intricacy, and you have at least 10 or 15 different physicians who will treat 10 or 15 different specialties of the human body, and every little drop of us, exterior and interior, is in fact so intricate and complicated how it operates, and thank God it does. That's how, multiplied by 10 zillion, billion, willion, killion, is the world. The world is beyond imagination. Beyond, you couldn't even imagine if you tried. Yet, nevertheless, human beings do try to imagine it. And their imagination oftentimes actually contacts, accidentally, the truth. And when we have such a great moment, when the splendors and the wonders of the world are disclosed to us, and to whatever level the teachers of each generation will do so that in each generation will have some inkling and some glimpse, this will be a great and wonderful thing for us, because it'll bring us great pleasure, because knowledge brings pleasure, and knowledge and understanding of Hashem and of His world helps us to understand ourselves better, and that really is beautiful. And the person who's trying to understand themselves have to understand their uniqueness. What does it mean to be a human being? What a unique gift. What does it mean to be a Jew? What a unique gift. And so, in understanding ourselves, and understanding the world, understanding Hashem, we have this incredible day of celebration. And in the celebration in Israel, all over the country, there are medurot, bonfires all over the country. And none of the sirens are going off. Well, she'll listen, he won't. I mean, I know. The biggest celebration of all is in Miron, at the cave of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. There are at least 100,000 people tonight. 100,000, count them, tonight. All over Miron. Singing, dancing, around the fires, enjoying the feast, celebrating, and many with their little 3-year-old boys whom they're giving their first haircut to. And it's really an incredible experience in trying to realize how the celebration of this of this day has gripped our people in the recent years. It really has gripped us in an amazing fashion. And so we get together a little bit over here, 10,000 miles away, with a little taste, or a little attempt to try and understand a little bit of what Lag BaOmer is all about. But you must understand that since this Omer period has been a tough one for all of us, because of the fact of the sadness of the loss of Rabbi Akiva's students, therefore, this day must remain a great celebration because the dying stopped. And the celebration begins as we know that even though we lost so many great scholars in this plane, nevertheless, the Torah continues. Nevertheless, teachings continue. Nevertheless, our heritage continues. Throughout the centuries, we have been engulfed with persecution, particularly against our teachings, and particularly against our traditions, and the attempt to burn our holy books. And we have flourished nevertheless. Today, learning Torah amongst Jewish people is at its height, and it hasn't been in hundreds of years. And really, it's a celebration. Celebration of Torah learning, Torah understanding, Torah teaching, and the continuation of our beliefs and our heritage. And so with that in mind, we gather together, and we're going to say a little bit about the Parsha, since this takes the place of last night's class, of tomorrow night's class, that is. And just to get everyone to be on board, please understand that tomorrow night there'll be no class. And tonight's the class instead. This coming Sunday, since I'm away, there will also be no class. But Thursday, next week, Rabbi Adada will be here to teach, and I'll be here the following Sunday, May 13th, as well. May 13th, when I arrive, is a very special day. It's called Yom Yerushalayim, the day in which the Jewish people took over Jerusalem and completely unified the city in 1967. We'll talk about that on Sunday, May 13th. But now in the Parsha, just to share with you a few thoughts. The Parsha is known as Emor. And Emor is to speak. We all know that there are three ways of speaking. There's Emor, omer, there's medaber, and there's lahagi. And of all these three words of speaking, the harshest, or I should say the softest, is omer. Speak softly. And the harshest is medaber. It's called dimur kashot. People speak harsh to one another. And it's also a speaking of, that's not only harsh, but also lagid, tell. And to tell is to be very direct. Omer is not that much. Omer is a way of expressing a point in a soft and gentle manner. And this is what Hashem tells Moshe to the Kohanim. Speak to the Kohanim gently. They are the children of Aaron. And in those children of Aaron, v'amar lehem, speak to them again. So from here we learn an amazing thing. Since it says the word speak twice, it means that you speak to Aaron and the Kohanim, and they speak afterwards to Bnei Aaron, their children. What we learn from here is there's an obligation for elders to teach youngsters. There's an obligation to teach what you know. But the teaching has to be in a soft manner. In a manner in which there's more role modeling than actually telling. More on-the-job practice. And that the children are able to enjoy the experience of what their fathers are teaching them. But it has to be assured that parents have that obligation and that responsibility to teach their children. That obligation, that responsibility is an amazing sense of how the tradition gets passed on. The tradition can only be passed on if there's a commitment on the part of elders to teach the youngsters. Torah teaches that the elders have that responsibility. that responsibility to teach their youngsters. The responsibility to teach Torah, and share what you know with others is as important as learning it in the first place. That's the whole idea of Emor. The idea is that if you know something, you should be sharing it and teaching it and telling it to others so that the message spreads. That's the whole idea. Because Kohanim have remarkably special responsibilities. For a starter, a Kohen can't go to a funeral unless it's for an immediate family member. Secondly, he has to maintain a level of purity. For in addition to which, he has to also know that he can't marry anyone he wants. He can only marry a woman who is he cannot marry a divorcee. He cannot marry a woman who has been with a non-Jew. He cannot marry a woman who has been a product of a forbidden Kohen union. These kind of women are off limits to him. He may marry a widow, but a Kohen Gadol can't even marry a widow. But the point is that the holiness of a person is described or defined as what? As a person who's limited in whom he can marry. Therefore, the Jewish people, who are known as the kingdom of priests, that's us, we're all in a way Kohanim, have our limitations as well. And our limitation is, we may not marry a non-Jew. We can only marry a Jew. And that defines and describes us as that special nation. And defines and describes us as what? As a nation of priests. Basically what it means is, the more restrictions you got, the holier you are, the more responsibilities you got. And that's what it means to be a Jew. To be responsible to the level where you assume upon yourself greater responsibilities, greater restrictions. Fact is that the Kohanim are even greater than that. They have even greater restrictions and more demands placed upon them. And that really is the essence of understanding the position of a Kohen. The position of a Kohen, therefore, must not be understood as you must confess this and you must convey this to your children. How are they going to know? The children have to know what it means to be a Kohen, what it means to be a Jew, what it means to be unique and special, and what those responsibilities impose upon a person. Now, this message is to the Kohanim because this whole book, this whole third book of the Torah is a book of Kohanim. It's called Leviticus, the book of Levites, the special Levites, the Kohanim, the book of the Korbanos of the sacrifices, the book of the Mishkan of the sanctuary, the book of all the teachings of how we manage our service in the Mishkan and the sanctuary. All this is taught to us throughout this entire book, including the Kohen's responsibilities to be a teacher, to be a mentor, including the Kohen's responsibilities to purify and impurify when it comes to, let's say, the issues of rashes and tzaras and leprosy. All these things are responsibilities of the Kohen. The Kohen leads the service, leads the ceremonies when the Mishkan is dedicated. All this is particularly unique to the Kohen and his job, his responsibility. Probably the time that the Kohen is most well seen and well appreciated is on the holidays. Because in the holidays, everybody comes to visit Jerusalem. Everybody sees the Kohanim in Jerusalem at the time. Everybody will have a wonderful time being there and enjoying the power of the religious service, but they can only be done through the Kohen. So therefore, you get to know the Kohanim and the priests and the Levites on a very personal, intimate basis. Because they're the ones that are doing it for us. So we make these celebrations, we make these pilgrimages on the holidays. And that's what the Parsha continues with the holidays. But the Parsha also has a major teaching called the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem. The mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem is where the Torah teaches that when you keep the mitzvahs and follow them, lo techalu et shem kodshi, you can't disgrace my holy name. That's the prohibition of Chil Hashem, the prohibition of defaming God's name. The positive mitzvah of Nigdashtim Sof B'nei Yisrael and Hashem Kadishchem, make Hashem's name holy and let the world know who I am, who Hashem is. B'toch B'nei Yisrael. You are? I'm not. You saying it by Torah?
What?
You saying it by Torah?
He's
learning.
repeating in his own
He's saying his opinion. Okay. Make sure it gets on video because I want him to see this when he gets older. What does it mean to sanctify Hashem's name? Well, a lot of ways of doing it. Person goes to the store and he buys $100 worth of groceries. No, he buys $50 worth of groceries. And he gives the cashier $100. And he gets back $60 in change. Someone see a problem? You want to see the problem? Okay? He got himself an extra $10. And he drives home, and he realizes that he took an extra $10. So he turns around 20 minutes later, takes him another 20 minutes to get back to the store, and he gives the extra $10 back to the cashier. The cashier says, what a wonderful person. You drove 40 minutes, 20 and 20, just to give me back that extra $10 you took from me. And it was my mistake. Says the man, I'm not a wonderful person. I'm just doing what Hashem told me. I believe in God. And God told me it's the right way to live. And this man falls in love, not with the man, but with God. And that's your goal. Your goal is not for the people to fall in love with you. Your goal is to fall in love with Hashem because you are the representative of Hashem. That's called Kiddush Hashem. On the other hand, a person acts in a very unbecoming manner, in a way where people see it and say, wow, he represents Hashem, and look how unbecoming he is. Look how his behavior is so rude and so lacking in respect and kindness, and he's mean or whatever, and he represents Hashem. It's Hashem with bad. In fact, we will say the following. The greatest mitzvah you can do and the greatest sin you can do. Have you ever been asked that? Has anyone ever asked you, what's the worst thing you can do in Judaism? And when I asked you, what's the best thing you can do in Judaism? Some people have different opinions. Shabbos, most important thing. Torah learning, this, that, and that, right? The most important mitzvah you can do in Judaism is make Hashem's name holy. Don't give him any food. He came too late. Now I'm talking about you. Forget it. And it's okay. Okay, so what are we saying? The most significant mitzvah you can do in this world is make Hashem's name holy. That's the most significant. To be a force and an impact in the universe, to make your life meaningful, to say I've done something, left an impact, means I've made one person, 2 persons, 10 persons love God a little bit more. And we're not talking about only Goyim, and we're not talking only about non-religious Jews, we're talking about religious Jews. We're talking that you should sanctify God's name with religious Jews. Because if, let's say, amongst 10 religious Jews, you displayed a lack of godly behavior or a lack of loyalty to God, those 10 religious Jews will become ever so slightly less religious. And if you display a behavior that is positive and powerful in terms of your belief in Hashem with loyalty, those 10 religious Jews will become ever so more little bit religious. And that is the impact that you need to make in this world. So let's understand something. If it's people who are not religious, then for sure you gotta make a big impact and not go off and make a negative impact. If they're non-Jews, then for sure. But it means everybody. What about your children? What about your neighbors? What about the people you meet here and there? All of this has to be done in a manner in which there is a complete sense of responsibility for Hashem's name. because you reflect that. If you don't, because no one knows you're Jewish, because no one can see it, or you don't look Jewish or whatever, so it doesn't mean anything. So it means nothing. It means that you're not milked, you're not fleshy, you're not meat or dairy, you're part, you're nothing. That's it. You made no impact whatsoever. Thank you for passing through the world. Right? Go to the cemetery, see 3,000 graves. Who knows them? Nobody. They all died 50 years ago. Anybody remember them? Nobody. That's it. There's one grave over there, the great rabbi, or a man who had many children, and his children come to visit, or students come to visit, or the people that he loved made him come to visit. He made an impact. We need to know that in this world we need to make an impact. And we need to know that's the greatest mitzvah you can do. And we need to know the greatest thing you can do with this is Kiddush Hashem. Make God's name holy. That's what we're here for. Some of you may have it open, some not. I'll tell you, look it up. It is chapter 22, verse 32. And it contains both mitzvahs. Both the mitzvah not to disgrace Hashem's name, and yes, the mitzvah to sanctify His name. What it eventually means is as follows. When people do mitzvahs and do the right thing or lead the right life, so they go far on a personal level and even have a share in the world to come. If persons do more than that, by not only doing the right thing and not making mistakes, but they also enrich themselves with an understanding and appreciation of what this is all about. That means learning Torah. Then their share and the world to come is expanded. And they enjoy completely the experience. Some people might say the experience is what? The experience is one that if you go into the world, you can't wait to get out of it. To go to Olam, to the world to come. Others might say, wait a second, there's some beautiful moments in this world. The moments of holiday celebration, the moments of Torah, the moments of Shabbos, the moments of enjoying the spiritual pleasures of the world. And they're right. And that's a higher level. But the highest level of all is a level that says, I don't even need to get to the world to come at all. I don't even bother me. I'm too busy having a wonderful time here. Why? Because here I can impact. Here I can make a difference. Here I can sanctify God's name. And that's the third level and the highest level is. There are, of course, lower levels. People that really mess up. But we won't talk about them. We're going to talk only about people who do the right thing. But there are three levels to doing the right thing. Level A, level B, level C. Level A, I want to do mitzvahs. I choose to do the right thing. So therefore, I'm going to Olam Haba. I'm going to the world to come. And Hashem will take care of me. And I'll have a wonderful future and eternity. But I can't wait to get out of here because this world's filled with so many tests and so many challenges, so many problems, so many difficulties. Let's just get it over with, you know. And some people feel that way. Life's too tough, too stressful, too demanding, too difficult, too overwhelming. And then, of course, there's the people that say, no. There's nice moments in this world too. It's not all stress. It's not all difficulty and challenge. There's also beautiful moments. You learn Torah. You have Shabbos. You have mitzvahs. You have beautiful things in the world. So that's level 2. But level 3 says, I'm not anxious to go anywhere. I like it here. You know why? Because the challenges and the stresses don't mean a whole lot. Because I'm too busy making an impact. I'm too busy making Kiddush Hashem. I'm too busy living a life that it's at its highest, at its most powerful achievement. And that is sanctifying Hashem's name. Remember then again, if someone would ask, what's the greatest mitzvah you can do? Sanctify Hashem's name. Make an impact that makes someone love God a tiny bit more. The worst thing you can do is make someone feel less about God, less about Torah, because you did something that's inappropriate. You did something that's rude, or you were mean or unkind or disrespectful, or you demonstrated betrayal of Hashem. You're supposed to be expected to be loyal to Hashem, and instead you are lenient with the mitzvahs, and you are not as careful with them. It makes an impact. a negative one. And the negative one makes people less close to Hashem because you demonstrated a less closeness to Hashem. So we have to be very careful to make good impacts in the public eye. Living for the public, therefore, has a major, major impact of importance. And that's called that mitzvah of honoring and sanctifying Hashem's name. So why is it in this parsha? Well, it's in the parsha because that's what Kohanim do. When people come to the shul, come to the Beis Hamikdash, and they watch the Kohanim and they watch the Leviim, they sense the overpowering majesty of what they're doing in a total service and dedication to Hashem, which is in totality. It arouses everybody. It tells everybody, I want to reach higher levels. I want to do more. Everybody wants to become better because they see the Kohanim in this absolutely incredible, total, complete devotion to Hashem. That's the service in the temple. And that's called sanctification of Hashem's name. And that's why the Kohanim really are the ambassadors of goodwill, if you would say. We also have to learn to follow in their footsteps and do the same thing. And demonstrate our loyalty to Hashem. So everybody knows my story. I walked down the street one Friday evening for a little stroll. I stopped at the corner of Burbank and I was tired. I leaned against the mailbox and a car comes up and the lady opens at the passenger side, opens up the window and sticks out her hand and says, "Sir, would you kindly mail this for me?" And I said, "I really would like to, but I'm sorry." Right in the middle, she interrupts me and says, "Oh, yes, you must be Jewish. It's Friday night, the Sabbath. I understand, no problem." That is a Kiddush Hashem. That's when people understand. Wow, you're that loyal. You're that dedicated. It means that much to you. Wow, this must be really something. And so, when it gets to be in July, about 102 on Shabbos afternoon, and you're walking to shul here in the San Fernando Valley with your suit and tie, and a few layers, there's a shirt, there's an undershirt, there's a few things on, and people walk by you, and they probably don't have an undershirt on at all, and they say, "Why, aren't you hot?" And I say, "Hot? Who's hot? I'm cool." Well, you're either one of two things. Either you're crazy, or you are a religious Jew. Both. I'm crazy about Hashem. And that is leading and impacting life. That's what it's all about. So, wish you all a wonderful holiday celebration. Chag Sameach, Lag Omer. Hope you enjoyed the meal. It's now time to bench. And afterwards, we'll daven Ma'ariv and count the omer of the new day.